They rejected my application. They gave two reasons for the rejection. One, they said the record doesn't exist, that they don't recognize it as a Guinness World Record title. Two, they said my journey wasn't personal and I have to apply through the business consultation service.
A Nigerian motorcyclist who has traveled 20 nations in Africa applies for a Guinness World Record for the longest solo motorcycle journey in Africa by a woman, and she gets rejected. She is erased totally. Like every conversation that she had with Guinness World Record was erased. Her application was erased, and she has come out to the public to say that this is what Guinness World Record has done to me.
I'm making this video with a heavy heart. I'm a Nigerian motorcyclist who has traveled on a motorcycle to 20 countries. I applied for a Guinness World Record for the longest solo motorcycle journey in Africa by a woman. Normally, it takes about 12 to 20 weeks to get a response, but because I didn't want to wait so long to confirm if my dreams are valid, I decided to go for the priority application, which is $1,000. 3 days later, they rejected my application. They gave two reasons for the rejection. One, they said the record doesn't exist, that they don't recognize it as a Guinness World Record title. Two, they said my journey wasn't personal and I have to apply through the business consultation service. Then I replied to them. I showed them 3 people who are already holding this record they say doesn't exist. The only difference now is that I am African. I also proved beyond doubt that I am doing this 100% solo and self-funded. When they replied again, I was so hopeful. But I was met with another rejection, no explanation, just a push to pay the £10,000 for a business consultation service.
First off, £10,000 in my country is about 40 something million that I cannot afford. Oh my God, I did not know. I understand that sometimes when you need things to go faster, you have to make a certain amount of money, and 600 sounded fair, but you want me to pay 40 something million that I don't have just for consultation, and at the end of the day you might end up rejecting me. You might end up telling me that I've still not qualified, because the lady has come out to say that there are people in this category, it's just that they are not black like I am. So why don't you also consider me like these people? Why are you telling me to come out and do consultation that is going to take me 40 something million? Did those people do it? I don't know, because we've never heard from those people saying that we paid 10,000 euros so that we can consult more and more in this category, and then boom, we are given this award. I'm sure that she doesn't know as well, but she has come out to say that me, I don't have that money. I don't have it at all. So people who are really talented in certain things and people who are pushing hard for certain things, in other words, are not qualified for this kind of world record, because they're not going to be able to afford these things. They're not.
If I was rejected because I don't qualify, that would make sense and I would accept it gracefully. But I was rejected because I couldn't afford to pay £10,000, which is over 20 million naira, for a service that my journey doesn't even qualify for. In their own website, they stated that the only people who qualify for business consultation are government agencies and charity. But my journey doesn't fall under any of those categories, and I proved it. Then I requested a refund as there was no valid reason why I was being rejected. The next morning when I logged into my account, it was totally erased. Like I never even applied. Like it never existed. Like I don't exist. For a moment, it broke me. I felt unworthy, undeserving, like my story doesn't matter. But my story does, because I have survived and done the impossible. I lost my legs, lived on a wheelchair, did surgery, and now I ride with screws and rods holding my spinal cord together. And still, as a new rider, I picked up a bike and I've done 20 African countries alone on a 250cc motorcycle.
When you look at this lady Ebaide, you're going to say that what does a person like this want to really with Guinness World Record? Why is she coming out to bother us? Why is she coming out to bombard our heads? Because we have a lot of things that we are thinking of. But this is a person who has decided that I've gone through a lot. You've heard what she has said. I have gone through all these things, and instead of entering into a mental breakdown or depression or having anxiety, I am going to look for something that I feel comfortable doing. I am going to look for something that I feel like is a dream for me, and I want this dream to come true. I am going to use my inability to do the impossible, to do the things that I feel like I cannot do. With all the challenges she went through, she still hopped on a bike and said that I am going to do the impossible. But what she forgets, or what most of us Africans we forget, is that being black, being an African, is sometimes a disability. You may think that you have all your body parts, but when it comes to certain things, especially international stuff, you're going to be a disabled member that does not qualify for what you really qualify for. Obviously, it's painful. She had a heavy heart and she posted that video and it went viral. It got over 4 million views. And people came out to say that it's fine. You know what? At this point, I think we should hold our own world record as blacks, as Africans. But at the end of the day, all these things can only be possible if there is a call for unity. Like PLO Lumumba always says that Africans, we need to unite. We need to unite. All these things can't be possible if we are not united.
I am amazed at how far I've come. No one in the world has my story. So if they won't write my legacy, I'll write it myself. I will still do season 3. A ride from South Africa to Kenya to complete the longest solo motorcycle journey in Africa by a woman. Except this time, I'll be doing it for a purpose. I'll be riding to raise funds for African female orphans like me. I've also created a new movement, a legacy platform for Africans by Africans.
Sometimes they say that all things happen together for good. It is bad it has happened for good. It is good it has happened for your good, because she wouldn't have thought of all these things. She wouldn't have thought of, let me fundraise, let me create this for Africans, if Guinness World Record just gave it to her like that. Now she has a new movement, which is a very good thing.
Everywhere I go, I meet Africans doing the impossible. A girl coding in a remote village with no internet. A man building machines from metal scraps. Athletes, inventors, visionaries, breaking boundaries and setting new standards with nothing but raw talent and unstoppable spirit.
But her movement is not going to happen if you Africans, if you blacks, you don't come out to support such a person. If you can support her in any way, pray for her. This is someone who really has a challenge but is going out of their way to make things possible. Because one day, instead of someone coming out to say that I have this American dream, they're going to say that I have this African dream. It's just funny that when an African or when a black person comes out to be a strong person, comes out to break a certain kind of record, they're going to emulate them to a white person. But when a white person wins something and comes out to be so strong and blah blah blah, they're not going to point him to anyone black. They're not going to come out and say this is the so and so of our season, pointing to a black man. No, they're not going to do it. They will remain with their name and their title. And that is what you're supposed to be doing as Africans. You're supposed to be coming out to stand for what you know is true and is going to bring that pride. I have come to the end of the road and I want to say that till next time, see you, bye bye.
Hi everyone, this is a video of gratitude and to give you an update on the email I received from Guinness World Records. For this video to make sense, I have to play you a voice note first. When I got rejected, I knew I couldn't continue doing this alone. I knew my emotions would cloud my judgment, so I decided to employ a social media manager. And 2 days later, I made her my full-time manager. This is a voice note I sent to her just a few days before releasing that video.
I'm so scared. It wasn't supposed to be like this. I was supposed to just make a video, announce I'm going for Guinness World Record. It was supposed to be a beautiful thing. Then the followers who have been following me for so long are supposed to then embrace it like, oh yeah, let's go, let's do this. It was supposed to be beautiful. It was never supposed to be about rejection and controversy. I'm so scared. I'm so scared. I'm so scared.
I played that voice note so you'd see how much I struggled with the decision to go public. I was dejected, scared, and walked around with so much pain in my heart. But when I finally found the courage to come out, you stood by me. Thank you so much for not shaming me. Thank you so much for standing by me at my lowest. Thank you for making me feel seen, for amplifying my voice. I don't feel alone anymore. I don't feel like I'm carrying this burden alone anymore. Because of your love and support, we are moving forward. I am so happy to announce to you that Guinness World Records has refunded my money because of you. They also sent me this email. But at this point, this is not my decision anymore. Nothing would have moved if you all didn't stand up and fight for me so intensely. I'm so grateful to you, and that's why you are the one making this decision. They're asking if I would still like to be considered for a Guinness World Records, and I want you to decide. There is a poll down in the comments, and I want you to help me make this decision. Please click either yes or no. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you feel. Let me know what you want. This is now about the community, not just me. This is not a one-person thing anymore. Also, in preparation of the official launch of the African People's Records on May 25, and my next trip from South Africa to Kenya, I've decided to come back home to Nigeria on the 10th of May. I truly can't wait to continue this journey with all of you. Thank you once again for believing in me and making history with me.